Good afternoon, everybody. My name is Inga Cotton. I'm the founder and executive director of San Antonio Charter Moms, and it's enrollment season. And so on Charter Moms Chats, we've been talking about lots of different school options across San Antonio. And we're really lucky today. We have a new post on the blog, and there's a link to the post in the description of the video. And we're featuring Brooks Academies. And so our guest blogger is Ms. Bonnie Salas, and she is the principal at Brooks Academy of Science and Engineering, and she's also the parent of our Brooks Bengal. So her post counts as both a teacher tales post and as a parent perspectives post. So we're really honored to be able to share guest voices on the blog. And then now during Charter Moms Chats, we get to actually have a conversation with Ms. Salas and find out like what she's most proud of as a school leader at Brooks at BASE, right? Brooks Academy of Science and Engineering, and what she appreciates most as a parent. So Bonnie, thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me, Inga, virtually. I love this.
I know, right? We don't even have to drive, right? And we get to
Exactly.
reach lots of families. Yeah. Well, great. Okay. Well, so for folks who are not familiar yet with Brooks Academies, or especially this, the flagship or the original campus, Brooks Academy of Science and Engineering, can you talk about like the mission and vision of Brooks, like as a charter school? Like, how is it unique, and how does it serve families?
Absolutely. Well, thank you so much. You're right. We are the flagship campus. Brooks Academies has grown to 4 schools within our district located in different parts of San Antonio. We are located on the Brooks campus off of 410 South Presa area, and we are an open enrollment free charter school serving students in grades pre-K through 12th grade. And our vision and mission are really just simple. We want to cultivate a transformational culture that maximizes student achievement. And what does that look like? It's different for every student who comes to BASE. I am proud of the fact that we accept every single student who applies. And of course, if we have room in our classrooms for them, and are able to service them, whether they're a gifted and talented student, if they're a student who has an IEP, or if they're a student who's just looking for something different as far as offerings or a smaller environment, or hey, I am a working parent and I want one stop to drop off my kindergartner, my sixth grader, and my senior. So we're really very flexible in what we offer and provide, and I'm just proud to not only be the school leader, but as you said, have my own child attend our school as well.
That's right. I wanted to ask you about, like, so in the guest post, like, you shared some really moving and details about it, the impact it's had on your family. Like moving your son to Brooks. Can you share with us more about that? Like, how does it feel to be a Brooks parent?
It's amazing, and I always, with anybody who will listen, it's not solely out of convenience to have my child here. I mean, I'm not going to lie, the morning commute is fabulous. Being able to come just straight to work with my child and leave with my child as well. But I, like so many other families in this area, in the southeast area, have so many options with either the local ISDs or other charters that are popping up. And it just came to a point where my son wasn't happy going to school. And I said, you know what, we'll bring him to my school. I think my school is fantastic, and I've seen the way it served others. And it's just been the best decision for our family academically and emotionally. And when I say academically, my son flourished. He was, struggling a little bit in the beginning with reading, and came, and we were immediately able to provide interventions that I'd been waiting for quite some time. And now I have, an above level reader who loves to come to school and also has a family type of environment and setting. And I'll be honest, I hardly see him between the hours of 8 to 3. So he still has that independence. And not only myself, but all of the administrators at base have their children here enrolled in grades from kinder all the way to senior class. So graduation is going to be special this year, even more so
Wow.
than it usually is.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's really what I was really impressed with when you talked about the academic support that I think like every parent wants to give their kid the best chance they have to be prepared for the future. Whether it's like college or what their career choice will be. And that just like knowing that they're getting solid academics is really important. And you talked about how at Brooks it feels like it feels like a family and
Mhm.
like I mean literally like your son is there right but your
Right.
colleagues their kids are there
Yeah. And
and
I think
and then like the relationships you build.
sure. And a misconception is, do they have to have certain grades? Or I have a child who has dyslexia, or have a child who, is gifted, and do they need to fit a certain mold? And they don't. We were able to service all students, and giving us an opportunity to try and individualize as much as possible for those learners who need something different. And that's something just I've gotten to see the benefits of as a parent, and also, the pride as a principal, because not only for my son, but for so many other students here as well.
Yeah, yeah. Well, can you talk more about like at Brooks Academy of Science and Engineering, like what things you're most proud of about your campus? So, like in the blog post, you mentioned that it's a T-STEM campus, and that the fact that it goes all the way from pre-K up to 12th grade.
Yes, so our high school does have the T-STEM designation as well. And, every year we boast over a 95% graduation rate here at base. And T-STEM is led by, of course, we have a wonderful STEM coach who ensures that we are reading every fine print and providing opportunities for our students. And what that looks like is internships, project-based learning, career pathways, or different graduation pathways for them, as well as making sure that our students, whether it's not college that they're ready for, but maybe it's a certificate or it's military ready, teaching them just those soft skills that sometimes go overlooked and that are in such a high demand right now. And our STEM coach, again, Miss Hamoud, works with our college and career readiness counselor that meets with students and just ensures that, hey, this is what it is. Or maybe you just want the opportunity to take dual credit classes. We're partnered with Palo Alto, and so our T-STEM designation provides us the opportunity to be able to offer simultaneously. You're coming to high school, but you're also earning college credit, and that's huge for families.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's I mean, people may not know that that Brooks has those options. So, and we do have SHR Moms has an enrollment guide for Brooks. We cover like all the different campuses in Brooks, right? So there's Brooks Collegiate, right, which is at 410 Advanced Jackson. There's Brooks Academy Oaks on the northwest side. There's Brooks Lone Star, right, which offers like a lot of Spanish language instruction. It's kind of just inside Loop 410, right? And then the original Brooks Academy of Science and Engineering and
And our other high school is early college, so they partner with San Antonio College, and they offer the same to their high school students.
yeah, yeah. Well, and this is a slight tangent, but I guess when y'all set up at Brooks, was there a connection, like having it be a STEM focused campus, and that like Brooks is an area of San Antonio that's a former military base, but it's being redeveloped, and there's before we went on the air, we were talking about the Green Line Park and all the new like housing and things that are coming. New restaurants and stuff that are coming to Brooks. But it does have a long history of aerospace and technology and medicine and things like that at Brooks.
Yeah, and when Brooks first began, which was in 2006, I believe that was just really a need that was not met for a lot of families in the area. And as we've grown and as you got to see today, just Brooks in and of itself, the campus has developed incredibly. I mean, we look outside our window and Amazon is our neighbor, and then we have Nisi and just so many other things that are coming that are dealing with, just like you said, it's food service, or we have a veterinary clinic where some of our students are getting to do an internship with this semester. So we are very rich in the people around us, as well as the people who are willing to support us and our students. So our field trips can literally be right across the street, and we've seen that parents are still interested in engineering and science, and how can we cultivate these young scientists and young engineers. We are going to have our very first STEM Fest this spring, so I'll be sure to share that information with you. And we're going to have different representatives here who are coming in, as well as showcasing STEM projects from grades kinder all the way to our engineering classes and advanced engineering classes in high school. We had a GT fair in the fall, and we had our GT students create an invention of something that was already invented, but even better. And of course, going through the entire engineering process. And I think the really great thing about that is they don't know that they're already going through it in elementary. So by the time they get in middle school and have their STEM classes and robotics classes, it's something that they've already been introduced to.
Right. They've had the foundation to keep growing. Yeah. Well, I'm glad you shared about things like the GT Fest and STEM Fest and things like that, because it feels like that there's a lot of school spirit and a lot of traditions that are emerging, right? And like I've heard that your campus has there's a sort of cheer squad, and there's like a drum line, and like things that people may not realize that charter schools have these kinds of traditions, these extracurriculars. And so, I mean, can you share more about like school culture and what things that bring people together and build that school spirit?
I'd love to. So this is our very first year with the band. That has been incredibly popular, and we were very lucky to be at the ribbon cutting for our brand new street name 2 weeks ago, I believe. We had our drum line out there. We had other instruments out, and we were a little weary about band because it was so new, and the response has been overwhelming. These kids have never even touched an instrument and are excelling. They competed in the UIL competition for band this past week and placed. And I mean, this is with very little experience. So that's definitely an avenue we're going to grow. We have choir that also, they do very well. And as you mentioned, we have a cheer team. We have an elementary pep squad. And next year, very exciting, we're going to extend our sports program all the way to 4th grade. So this is actually a breaking news. You heard it first here. That's just something that we have seen an interest peak in, and we've done intramurals as well. But our kids are ready for competition in elementary, and that's something exciting that we're going to be able to offer, as well as expand our sports offering next year. And I'm not sure if you got to see on your trip over, but we do have a brand new state-of-the-art football field that we plan to play soccer on next year. So that's exciting for us as well. But as far as family events, we have a wonderful parent liaison that helps coordinate all of that with us, Miss Avila. And our enrollment and recruitment efforts this year are going to be focused on health and wellness, as we've seen that that's just been a big need, whether it's mental health, physical health. And so we are going to be hosting some Zumba nights that has already garnered a huge interest. I think I'm going to have to maybe show some of the dance moves that I don't have out there. And then our re-enrollment begins in March, first week of March. And then, so any new family that comes in or any family that re-enrolls will get a dry fit brand new t-shirt. And they are all invited to our huge re-enrollment wellness fair, which is March 2nd. That's going to be held on our field. You'll get to meet staff, you'll get to visit a bunch of booths that we'll have out there, and you'll get to do some Zumba as well, and maybe see me out there Zumbaing, if that's what you call it.
Well, that's, I mean, what a constructive thing. I mean, I think we all need a little more Zumba in our lives. And
Yeah.
I know in the past, I've had Paula Turner, who's the wellness coordinator, and teaching things like about mindfulness and yoga for classrooms and things like that, and talking about gratitude, and that kind of, that's something like whatever age you're at, like, as I mean, I bought a stack of those cards so that I can incorporate that into my life, because as parents, like, we've all been dealing with a lot of pressure and uncertainty over the past couple of years, so like we all need more of that. And as you mentioned, there's more skills than just academic skills that it takes, that we need to teach our kids so they can succeed in the workplace, or in the military, or in college, like whatever they're trying to do. Like, they need to be, aware of how they're feeling, how they're treating other people, managing their own stress, so they can bring their best selves to, their schoolwork, or their work at their job.
Oh, absolutely. And as you mentioned too, our parents are the real MVPs as well. I mean, they've stuck through it with us, and all the uncertainty with what's gone on, and we are so thankful for them and their loyalty and their devotion and support. So in creating these events, we thought, how can we make it dual, something that would, we're getting them here to help in re-enrollment, but we also want to show that we care about their overall well-being. So here's some information on nutrition, or check out these people on Brooks campus that have gyms, and there's Zumba and there's mindfulness, and we are willing to support you in any of those avenues, or if we can't, get you the tools to help you in supporting that. And I think we all need a little more meditation in our lives as of late, for sure.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, you really described how, so many examples of how, Brooks Academy of Science and Engineering is connected with the Southside community, and in particular on the Brooks campus. Like, you mentioned the sort of health and wellness businesses, but also, like, that now that there's a band and a drum line, that that they can represent the school at community events, and then it's part of, getting, like, the families, the community, the
Yes.
teachers, the school, getting everyone working together.
Oh, yes. In our community, we have some amazing partnerships, and they're always willing to help and asking how they can be of more support. And for us, we just get so much joy in just connecting our families with the community. And, as you mentioned, like the Green Line is there. A lot of people don't even know that it's there, or just the different services that are around us that are so easily accessible. And even if it's maybe small business or something, we had one of our past students at our fall fest, and they had their food truck there, and that was amazing because they helped us, and then at the same time they got some exposure from their local community. I mean, how cool is it to say I went back to my school and was able to show what I'm doing now. We're proud that we have several of our teachers on staff are Brooks graduates as well, base graduates, so they're here. And we also understand that right now school is a little scary for some that are thinking of, just what are my options? And we want kids here and we want them in person. But I think you do know we have a virtual academy as well. And that one, and for virtual academy, Christina Garza is the contact. But of course, if any of your viewers want to reach out to me, I'd be happy to connect them. And that is a little bit different application process, but if and when you're ready to come back in person, any of our 4 schools are ready to take kids. And we had a few trickle in when we came back from Christmas break, but it's an option. So if people are looking for a quality online education, we're also offering that too.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's a lot of different school models, a lot of different solutions that are kind of within the Brooks family, but it all goes back to that original, like, mission and vision that you talked about, like supporting learners and, like, helping them really reach their potential.
Yeah, for sure. And that's what we want to do. And, you know, thinking outside the box. And as you mentioned, each of our schools offers something different. Oaks with fine arts, Lone Star dual language, BCA's an early college, high school. They have a sports emphasis as well. And then with us, science and engineering, and of course, our T-STEM program. I really am very proud to work for a district that really is inclusive and understands the diversity and interest and the needs of San Antonio. And I think we're doing a really great job in meeting all those needs.
Yeah. Well, so before you close out, I always wanted like, put the links and the phone number and things on the screen. But just if you have any other thoughts you want to share about your, being a parent and a leader at base, like, how it feels to have both roles. And I'm really grateful to have your voice on the blog because like we want to share, how people are living it, and I think it's a great testimony to what's happening at base.
You know, I'm base is a home for me. It has been. I'm 100% invested here, and I had a coffee chat this morning with some families. And you know, while we're always trying to do the best we can, I think that a really great thing is that we're also humble, and as a parent, understand that there are things that we can improve upon, and we are open to that. And I do think that that sets us apart. And as the leader of the school, I'm going to be the first to say I don't have it all figured out, but I am 100% committed to, you know, elevating our students and elevating our campus to be the only choice that people are going for when they look on our side of town. And accessibility is a really big thing. So if people ever want to talk to me or any one of the other administrators, deans, counselors, we're here to support. And if we can't help you, then we'll help you get to where you need to go.
Yeah. Well, great. Okay, so I'm going to share the contact info. So I hope that some of the folks
Okay.
listening are kind of curious about like about base. Okay, so the website, it's well, let's see, so it's BASE, like base dot brooksacademy.org, right?
Yes. Yep. And our email and contact info is up there. So you can always reach out to me via email. There's our phone number. My extension is 500. So that comes directly to me. I won't answer it all the time, but email's always the best way to go if you have just a question for me and need me to follow up. We'll also be looking at doing tours in the spring. So if that's something people are interested while they're making their decisions, then by all means reach out, and we're happy to help and connect.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's that accessibility, and responsiveness, and like you described, having the humility to want to learn and keep improving and listen. That's really important. But you guys have so much to be proud of as far as the academics and the school culture that you've created. So,
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
yeah. Well, I'm really happy to be able to share about base, and thank you for sharing your story as a parent and a leader. And I encourage everyone to like click through and read the blog post and find out more about Brooks that way.
Thank you so much, Inga. Pleasure.
Thank you, Bonnie. Take care.